Scoop Nemeth bringing you another edition of MMA Inside Scoop. Today, we're talking about the upcoming matchup coming your way on pay-per-view UFC 114. First on the menu is the welterweight showdown between Diego Nightmare Sanchez and John the Hitman Hathaway. Diego Sanchez has a 23-3 record, while Hathaway won all 13 fights. Hathaway has a 4-inch height advantage, but that's the only advantage he's got. Another thing, a record of 13-0 looks great, but the names of the fighters he defeated are just a bunch of little babies. Sanchez is a very well-rounded fighter who has shown his ability to stand in there and pow! Or just take it to the ground and use his degree from the University of Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going with Diego the Nightmare Sanchez for two reasons. Number one, Hathaway is British, and we all know that British are nothing but a bunch of big fat. And number two, Diego Sanchez fighting abilities come from New Mexico, which is also nicknamed as the Land of Enchantment. So, the clear winner, Sanchez with the victory. Next up is the light heavyweight bout between Antonio Nogueira and Jason Hitman Brills. Nogueira enters the fight with an 18-3 record, while Brills won 18 battles and lost 2. Two reasons why you should go with Antonio Nogueira. Number one, Brills' accomplishments as a high school state champion in wrestling will not do him any kind of justice in the UFC. Number two, Brills trains in Elite Performance in Omaha, Nebraska. But there's nothing elite about Omaha, Nebraska. Hell no! And number three, Nogueira is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu and is an accomplished amateur boxer. So Nogueira is your best bet. Welcome on to Rasta Pasta in Colorado Springs, where we now talk about the third fight of the evening between Karate Kid Russo and Hot Rod Todd Duffy. Duffy is undefeated at 6 wins and 0 losses, while Russo enters the cage with a record of 12 wins, 0 losses, and 1 no contest. Seriously, what in the name of Walter Cronkite is this fight on the main card? This had better be a 7-second knockout, because I sure as hell don't want to see 2 bags of half-ass talent go at it for 1 minute. This is a prediction show, so we have to pick somebody. According to my professional opinion, I'm going with Todd Duffy by knockout. Unless, of course, Russo pulls off a sweet-ass crane kick. We're here at To The Grave Tattoo Shop in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where tattooing has become a custom among MMA ass kickers. I'm not an MMA ass kicker, but I'm a hardcore badass. And this is the perfect place to talk about the middleweight showdown between Michael the Count Bisping and Dan Miller. Bisping has a very strong record of 19-3, while Miller has a record of 11 wins, 3 losses and 1 no contest. 2 reasons why Miller is your best bet. Number 1, Bisping has no solid game plan to execute when opening up a can of whoop-ass on the opponent. And number 2, Bisping is British, but not like the hardcore British, like the Mick Jagger, the Sex Pistols, and other badasses. So not only does Miller get the win in this bout, but Miller will do this for America. Finally, the last piece of the puzzle. The UFC 114 main event, coming to you live from the Pretty Wild stage at Copperhead Road Country Bar on North Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The final fight of the evening. Sergeant B.A. Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Rashad Sugar Evans. Rampage won 30 fights and lost only 7. But as for Rashad Sugar Evans, he won 14-1. The big question is, has Rampage's acting career take a big step out of his fighting? I'm sure the pre-Hollywood Rampage would win this one, but will he bust open a can of whoop on Sugar Evans without the aid of the script? Rampage will certainly win this one, even if he is stealing some of Mr. T's thunder. Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Rampage Jackson.
Go with Rampage.
Go for Rampage Jackson.
I pity the fool who doesn't go with Rampage Jackson. And that's what it's all about for the UFC 114 prediction show. I'll see you next prediction show.
Don't lose. Don't lose your head.